Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. I'm going to be doing a live stream regarding the zodiac of Sagittarius. Tonight the moon is in Sagittarius and we are August 20th, 2026. If you like this live stream, please share, like, subscribe, follow, comments. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. So I'm going to talk about Sagittarius as a zodiac sign, the connection to tarot, and what it means for the collective to have the moon in Sagittarius tonight. Sagittarius is the ninth sign of the zodiac wheel. It is a fire sign, along with Aries and Leo, and it is also a mutable sign. Fire represents passion, inspiration, confidence, and action. Mutable energy represents movement, flexibility, change, and the ability to adapt. When those qualities come together, Sagittarius becomes an energy that wants to explore, learn, grow, and experience life beyond its familiar boundaries. The symbol of Sagittarius is the archer, often shown as a centaur, holding a bow and arrow. The arrow represents direction, purpose, and the pursuit of something greater. Sagittarius is always aiming towards the truth, wisdom, freedom, or having a larger understanding of life. This particular zodiac sign does not only want information, it wants to understand what the information means. Sagittarius is traditionally associated with travel, higher education, philosophy, religion, spirituality, different cultures, publishing, teaching, and the search of truth. Its energy encourages us to move beyond what we already know and consider a wider perspective on things. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, growth, abundance, faith, opportunity, and wisdom. Jupiter enlarges whatever it touches. So this is why Sagittarius energy can be optimistic, it can be generous, adventurous, and full of big ideas. It often believes that something better is possible, even when the entire path isn't visible yet. At its highest energy, Sagittarius is honest, expressive, open-minded, enthusiastic, humorous, independent, and aspiring. Sagittarius energy can encourage other people to believe in themselves and see possibilities that beyond their current circumstances. It values authenticity and usually prefers the truth over any illusions that are comforting. But just like every sign in the zodiac wheel, it has a shadow side. Sagittarius can become restless, impatient, inconsistent, overly confident, or resistant to commitment. Sometimes their honesty can be too blunt, especially when the truth is expressed without considering another person's feelings. Sagittarius may also chase the next exciting experience without completing what is already started. Because Jupiter expands things, Sagittarius energy can sometimes overpromise or take an idea too far. There can be a tendency to believe that everything will work itself out without creating a realistic plan. Healthy Sagittarius energy combines optimism with responsibility and freedom, with consideration for others. In relationships, Sagittarius needs honesty, trust, mental stimulation, and enough personal freedom to remain an individual. This energy usually dislikes feeling controlled, restricted, or emotionally manipulated. Hello, Charlene. Welcome to my live stream. I'm doing a live stream about Sagittarius. Like I was saying, Sagittarius wants a relationship that feels like growth, not confinement. At the same time, its lesson can be learning that commitment does not automatically mean losing your freedom. You're in Alaska? Okay, cool. The tarot card traditionally connected to Sagittarius is Temperance, which is Major Arcana number 14. So this is a Temperance card. This is a Temperance card for Sagittarius, okay? Now, in the card, you see an angel carefully pouring water between two cups. So this symbolizes balance, moderation, patience, healing, and the blending of different energies. At first, Temperance may appear very different from the adventurous Sagittarius, but there's a deeper connection because it's about the journey towards wisdom. Sagittarius searches for meaning and truth, while Temperance teaches us how to integrate everything we discovered. It is not enough to collect experiences, we must learn from them and bring those lessons into balance. The angel's movement between the two cups can also represent combining the spiritual and physical world, intuition and logic, freedom and responsibility, or passions and patience. Temperance reminds Sagittarius that growth does not always require extremes. Sometimes the greatest transformations happens gradually. When Temperance appears upright in a reading, in a tarot reading, it can represent healing, harmony, patience, divine timing, moderation, and finding the right combination. It may also ask us to slow down, regulate our emotions, and allow the situation to develop naturally. Now, in a shadow side, which will be reverse, Temperance card upside down, Temperance can point to imbalance, impatient, trying to force something before it's ready. And this actually connects directly to the shadow side of Sagittarius of moving too quickly, doing too much, or expecting immediate results. Now, I'm going to talk about the moon in Sagittarius tonight. In astrology, the moon represents our emotions, our instincts, our comforts, our habits, our memories, and our subconscious reactions. The moon changes signs approximately every 2.5 days, so its movement describes the changing emotional atmosphere of the collective. When the moon moves through Sagittarius, we may feel more optimistic, expressive, curious, social, or adventurous. Now we just left the moon in Scorpio. We were in Scorpio moon for a couple of days. So after this emotional intensity of the Scorpio moon, Sagittarius energy can feel lighter and more looking outward. Instead of remaining inside difficult emotions, we may want to understand what those emotions taught us and determine where we choose to go next, where we want to go next. So people may feel called to speak honestly, explore spiritual subjects, learn something new, plan a trip, laugh, socialize, so have conversations about life overall. This can be an excellent energy for teaching, storytelling, podcasting, which is what I'm doing tonight, live streaming, studying astrology, discussing different beliefs, or connecting with people from different backgrounds. Hello, Luma. Welcome to my live stream. How are you doing tonight? Sagittarius moon energy can also make us emotionally restless. We may want freedom from anything that feels heavy, repetitive, or restricted. Some people may avoid uncomfortable emotions by distracting themselves or turning it into a joke. Others may become unusually blunt because they feel compelled to say something in what they believe in. So the lesson tonight is to seek truth without using too much honesty as a weapon. We can and are able to express ourselves openly while still considering how our words affect other people. We can follow inspiration without acting so impulsively that we create unnecessary problems. Because the moon is currently growing brighter as it moves towards the full moon, this is also a period of building momentum. Something initiated around the new moon may now require action, adjustment, or taking a clearer decision. Sagittarius asks us to consider the larger vision. Where are we going? What do we generally believe in? And are present choices leading us towards our growth? Is what we're choosing now going to lead us into what we want to become, into what we want to grow in? A good intention for tonight, affirmation. I allow myself to expand beyond fear while remaining grounded, honest, and responsible. You can also ask yourself, what truth am I ready to acknowledge? Where have I been limiting myself? What experience is trying to teach me something? How can I create more freedom without abandoning my responsibilities? So this is the overall message of Sagittarius and the Temperance card. That is the tarot card Sagittarius. Pursue growth, search for the truth, remain open to your journey. But remember that real wisdom comes from learning how to balance everything that you discover. Balance everything that you need. So that will be all that I'm going to say regarding Sagittarius. I am going to pull an oracle card from my Moonology deck. I usually clarify the oracle cards, but tonight I'm not doing that. I'm going to pull a card and then just read from the book it comes with and say what it says in the book for you guys, okay? For whoever's here, whoever's gonna watch the playback after the live stream is over. So let me get the deck. Let me move this candle because I don't want it to. Did I turn it off? I think I did. It's okay. All right. Turn off by mistake. I gotta put it on again. Let me do this first. All right. So like I said, I'm gonna pull from my Moonology deck. I'll probably get 2 messages. All right. So let's get a message for fire sign Sagittarius tonight, while the moon is in their zodiac. Let me get 2 cards. What is this one? Okay, I feel like I wasn't shuffling right, but now it is. All right. Okay, so you got conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. And I'm going to give the explanation of that from the book. And then you have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. All right, Sagittarius, just give me a second because I usually do not read from the book. I clarify with the tarot, but I'm not going to do that tonight because this is not going to be a full reading. Conclusions. I have like notes on here when I started studying, so I'm like, I have this whole book marked. Oh, I found the other card. Okay, I found the explanation for your second card. So let me just get to that first as I found the explanation, which is a fiery climax approaches. Sorry, I chopped that up. A fiery climax approaches full moon in Aries. All right, so let me read this card first. And Aries is a fire sign, just like yourself, Sagittarius. Okay, so it says, it is time to see if you've been a little too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what somebody else wants. But you have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little harsh, perhaps went too far or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level you created the situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. Being assertive is good. Just don't override over anyone. If you are in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Learn to have more fun. What else does it say? Okay. Now it says the full moon in Aries is super fiery time when emotions can run very high. On the upside, there's an excitement about what may lie ahead, but temperance are likely to fare with rash comments or decision. No matter when you pull this card, it signals that a situation has just or is about to come to a peak, perhaps in a rather heated way. There could be a price to pay if you've been too competitive or perhaps too blunt. All right. Now, having to read the book every time I do this deck will be a headache because I don't talk like this. This is why I don't read from the book. But tonight, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing something different. All right. Let me find the second card. So the second card you got, let me put this up here actually. Conclusions are within reach. So let's find that one. This is a good oracle deck for anybody that is listening to me that does what I do. This is a good oracle deck to be doing when you do readings on moon cycles. This was actually the first oracle deck I ever got that I started with on here. Is this the one? Yeah, okay. All right. So going to your other card, conclusions are within reach, full moon in eclipse. Full moon eclipse, and just like that, a door slams shut. If you pull this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking is about to reach a peak. Okay. Or has done so, and things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what you signed up for. A way to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it may be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be the key to resolving this situation in a positive way. It doesn't make it right what they did, but it does release you so that you can move on. It's time for you to get back on track. Forgiveness will set you free of karma. Meditation, yoga are recommended for now. See, I don't like that. Forgiveness will... Let me just read what it said on the book. Full moons are nearly almost about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because it prompts change, something many of us are uncomfortable with. But change is a part of life, and this card, no matter when you pull it, reminds you that. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse into what Carl Jung called the shadow self. Work with your darkness. Well, that is true about Carl Jung. You guys don't know who he is? Look him up. He's good with that shadow side. There was something on here I saw. Oh, yeah. I think we're going to go into the full moon next week. I have to see the exact date. It is next week, but I can't remember the exact date. Is that next week? Friday, 20. The full moon is Friday, May 28th. Okay, so it will be next Friday. We're going to the full moon. All right. So I will be doing full moon readings next week for... Well, Sagittarius, your full moon reading will be in the fire elements, because the live streams, I'm doing the readings in the live streams and elements. So your reading will be in the fire signs elements. And that will be for next week. I don't know what day next week, but the full moon readings will be done for everyone before Friday. I will make a posting on my community and you guys can check there and, you know, tune into the live stream if you like, or check the community post. Like you can watch the playback. When you go on my live stream list, you see the ones that say tarot. Then you click on there, you should be able to find it. All right. Now I'm gonna see if people are gonna join the chat so I can talk to you guys. Otherwise, I'm gonna just cut off the live stream. Another thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to Sagittarius, because I'm a Gemini, so Sagittarius is actually like considered the sister sign of Gemini in astrology. Like it's the opposite sign. So Gemini and Sagittarius, they are both mutable signs. So they both share like curiosity, they share movement, they share a need for having mental freedom. They're able to adapt to things like a chameleon. So both of these signs, they love learning, they love communicating, discovering new things, but they take approach at knowledge differently. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Gemini gathers facts, asks questions, notices details, explore many like different subjects. Gemini wants to know like what is happening and what information can I find. Now Sagittarius, at this age, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So Sagittarius takes that information, searches for the larger meaning. Sagittarius wants to know, why is this happening? What does it teach us? And like, how does this fit into a bigger picture of what I need to know? So Gemini collects the pieces. Sagittarius tries to like create a philosophy from them. Gemini represents like everyday learning and communication, while Sagittarius represents higher education, wisdom, beliefs, travel, and expanded understanding. So at its best, these two energies, Sagittarius, Gemini, sister signs in astrology, like I said, they complement each other very well. Gemini helps Sagittarius remain curious and consider things from different viewpoints. Sagittarius helps Gemini move beyond like scatter information and find direction, find a purpose. Now, they both have a shadow side, just like every zodiac. They both can be restless. They both can be inconsistent. Gemini may jump between ideas, while Sagittarius may jump between like experiences or beliefs. Gemini can become overwhelmed by too many details, while Sagittarius can become too focused on the big picture that it overlooks important facts. So together, Gemini and Sagittarius teaches us to balance like facts with faith, like details with meaning, curiosity with wisdom. Gemini asks the question, Sagittarius searches for the truth behind the answer. Gemini will make a plan or talk about a plan. Let's say, for example, about traveling. Gemini will say like, "Oh, I have a plan. I want to go to I don't know, New Orleans." For example, Gemini will say, "I want to go to New Orleans." Talk about it and this and that. But Sagittarius is more like on the plane, already bought the ticket on the way to New Orleans. While Gemini is like, "Oh shit." Like I was just talking. That's the thing with the opposite, like the sister signs. So Sagittarius is more about action. Gemini is more like mental. Gemini is thinking about taking that trip. Sagittarius is like went on a trip already, or will tell Gemini, let's take the trip together. Like they're more be about it and take action when it comes to what Gemini says. Also, Sagittarius, I want to talk about and I mentioned this last night when I did the live stream on Virgo. By the way, if anyone listening to me has like Virgo placements, I did a live stream on talking about Virgo yesterday, so check that out on my playlist. comment on that. Like, if you don't follow me for more, okay? So Sagittarius, so like in traditional astrology, Sagittarius, they rules the hips, the thighs, movement, reflecting his desire to travel and keep moving forward. When it comes to commitment, I did talk about that before. You know, they don't like necessarily fear commitment, and this goes to every individual because not all Sagittarius are the same. I'm just talking about like in the concept of astrology. They don't fear commitment. Like it fears with Sagittarius, like they fear being trapped. Like Sagittarius can commit deeply when a relationship allows for like honesty, for trust, personal growth, and for them to be able to keep like their own individuality. So an involved Sagittarius, a Sagittarius that's healed, you know, is going to be truthful. They're going to be wise. They're going to be generous. They're going to be aspiring. The shadow side, one that is you're dealing with someone, or you are yourself an uninvolved Sagittarius. You're an unhealed Sagittarius. Then you're gonna be reckless, you know, unreliable. Perhaps use your bluntness to take it like an excuse for you to be insensitive towards others. When it comes to Sagittarius in the planet of Mercury, Venus, and Mars, now Mercury in Sagittarius communicates through big ideas. Venus in Sagittarius needs freedom and stimulation and love. Then you have Mars in Sagittarius, which is like pursuing goals boldly and like acting accordingly to like personal habits. So when you have a Sagittarius sun, like that expresses the identity through freedom and growth. While if you have a Sagittarius moon, it needs emotional space, truth, humor, new experiences. If you have a Sagittarius rising, you may appear confident, outgoing, adventurous. Now, Sagittarius season, you know, it's all the way at the end of all the way like near the end of the year, you know, and when we hit this season, you know, it encourages us to reflect on like what we learn, and it could also inspire us to like envision a larger future of other things that, you know, we want that we can plan to accomplish for the following year. Now, the glimpse in Sagittarius, the zodiac sign, the upward pointing arrow represents aiming beyond present limitation and moving towards truth, knowledge, and expansion. And I already talked about the actual, you know, image of Sagittarius, which is half human, half horse. So the horse represents instinct, freedom, and physical adventure, while the human archer represents intelligence, purpose, spiritual wisdom. The lesson it carries is to learn to direct instinct towards a more meaningful goal. So I will have a question for you guys. Do you think that Sagittarius people are generally afraid of commitment, or they simply refuse to have relationships that restrict their freedom? That will be an interesting topic to discuss. But whoever's watching the playback, you just could leave me comments. We could discuss this in the comments if I'm not able to discuss this in the live stream right now. Now, when it comes to spirituality and Sagittarius, they do explore religion. They explore philosophy, astrology, and they explore different belief systems. But it could also mean like assuming like their own beliefs is the only truth. So there are, some Sagittarius that do that. They fall in the category. The Sagittarius, this is a sign, they like to use humor to connect with people. They like to teach, they like to flirt. Sometimes as a coping mechanism with like emotions that feel uncomfortable for them. When it comes to travel and Sagittarius, travel represents more than like a regular vacation. It symbolizes for them leaving like familiar surroundings, and that helps them to gain wisdom through like experiencing things directly. Now, when it comes to their honesty, like they discuss things differently, like between using a certain bluntness and using like they're just courageous and bold. I'm gonna say in the way that they talk. So this is why like sometimes they may run into having a misunderstanding with people how they talk, and I understand that as a Gemini because I go through that a lot online and offline. So that's a relatable trait for Gemini and Sagittarius being sister signs. When it comes to friendships, they can be fun, they can be encouraging. They like to have adventurous friends, but they also need space, to like, because they don't want to feel like boxed in. They don't want to feel controlled. They don't, want to feel like those type of dynamics, like those type of things with like friendships that they have. Now, when it comes to conflict, like I said, bold, blunt, that could lead to them being like impulsive, perhaps being defensive about their beliefs, perhaps walking away when things feel like too heavy for them. And that's what I'm talking about, the shadow side, when you're dealing with someone that is a healed Sagittarius versus they're unhealed. Because the ones that are healed, their energy, they learn how to stay and have like those difficult types of conversations. And there's a healed and unhealed side of all the zodiacs, of all of them. When it comes to their career, they enjoy teaching. Like I said this before, they like to travel, law, publishing, broadcasting, coaching, philosophy, religion, entrepreneurs, like work that offers them to have like independence because they don't like to be tied down, like I said. Now, there's certain misconceptions I'm gonna say because I'm not gonna sit here and bash the zodiacs. So, but people assume that because they like to have freedom, they're like, or they have like this reputation, yeah, like reputation, misconception, whatever you want to call it, like they're automatically cheaters. They don't like they have a phobia to like being committed. They're insensitive, constantly traveling, because first of all, it depends on the person itself. And then the cheating thing has nothing to do with your Sagittarius or if you're a Gemini or whatever your zodiac is. If this is who you are, you like to cheat in relationships, you're gonna cheat in relationships point blank. It really has nothing to do with your Sagittarius, but it's a certain way people may look at them because of their zodiacs, because they like a lot of freedom. And Gemini can relate to that too, because we like a freedom too. We don't like to be boxed in. We don't like to be caged in. We don't like to be told what to do. We don't like that. Like that pushes us away. It pushes Sagittarius away. Now, I did say, the planet of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter itself also has a shadow sign. So sometimes it's like, and when I say that, like, expansion can become like excess, like too much overspending, exaggerating, over promising, like overindulging, like taking risks that are not necessary. Now, when I talked about the Temperance card, the tarot card, that's Temperance as healing. It relates the two cups to emotional regulation, blending opposite energies and turning life experience into wisdom. Like I said that before when I was explaining. Now, I said Sagittarius is a fire sign. So fire signs, they feel like energized. Unlike earth signs, air signs, I'm sorry. Unlike air signs like Gemini myself, air signs might feel like mentally stimulating and social. It's different. Like it's different elements with the fire sign of Sagittarius, air signs of Gemini, but we are sister signs in the astrology wheel, like I said. So leave me a comment if you have Sagittarius in your chart. Where's the placement of Sagittarius in your chart? Do you feel like Sagittarius people tell the truth, or like there's some time? Do you feel like a Sagittarius people tell the truth, or they're like too blunt, like too raw with the way that they speak at people, or the way they speak, overall? What does freedom mean to you in a relationship? Do you believe that because Sagittarius has a reputation of wanting freedom, just like Gemini, that is hard, they're cheat, they're gonna cheat. They're gonna cheat because they don't want to commit to anyone. Do you think that's a correct assumption when it comes to Sagittarius? Because they carry this energy of wanting to have freedom. Have you ever yourself, like whether you're Sagittarius or you're not Sagittarius, whichever element you are in your zodiac, have you like left your comfort zone to discover like something that you felt like was a greater purpose for you? So you guys can leave me comments on that and those questions that I asked. I would love to interact with you in the comments, or whoever's coming in and out the chat right now. Let me see, what else can I say about Sagittarius? Because I'm looking at my notes. All right. So Sagittarius season starts November 22nd and it goes till December 21st. Okay. And I said it's a fire element. I said it's a mutable sign. I said the ruling planet is Jupiter. The symbol is the Archer. The tarot card is the Temperance. I showed you the Temperance card already. The opposite sign, the sister sign, is Gemini. The house association is the ninth house. It's the ninth house placement in astrology. The core desire of Sagittarius, it's freedom, truth, knowledge, etc. The strengths that Sagittarius has on its own, like I said before, they're funny, they're adventurous, philosophical, generous, optimistic, but the shadow side, of course, is bluntness. They could be irresponsible. They could be restless. They could feel like excessive inconsistency. They could also feel like self-righteousness with things. The Sagittarius is always aiming its arrow towards something. And when you see like the sign, like you see it right here in the screen with the arrow up. So, that's, like I said before, that's a goal, that's a belief, that's a destination, for like a greater truth. An important point to make about that is whether Sagittarius energy has enough focus to reach the target or to keep chasing like the next, exciting possibility that they have. So I will ask you guys listen to this live stream. Do you think what do you think Sagittarius desires more? Do you think they desire more, when it comes to love, when it comes to truth, when it comes to having that freedom, keeping their freedom? So you guys let me know in the comments what you think about that. Now, when it comes to Sagittarius and their emotional vulnerability. So a Sagittarius can explain like their emotions instead of sitting with them, like their humor, their traveling, like staying busy can become ways to like escape like their emotional heaviness, okay? The fire sign, this fire sign is they have intuition that arrives as like they may feel like they immediately know something, they're quick to get inspired, they feel like they have a urge to move in a certain direction once it catches their interest. When it comes to money, Jupiter can attract opportunity, but because of its expansive nature, it may also like encourage overspending, gambling, or like having this belief like the money will always appear no matter what. Now when it comes to Sagittarius and they move on quickly after an argument and assume like everybody else has too. Like their growth involves acknowledging the emotional side of their words. That's part of like them being a healed Sagittarius versus being unhealed. This is why they're not the ones that are going to be like really coming like talk about feelings and apologizing to you right away. It's not a common thing that they're going to do. It's something that they have to learn to do. They become playful, they can have good communication. They're eager to share experiences. They usually like want a partner that can also be their friend. When they lose interest, Sagittarius, the communication becomes inconsistent. The plans, they become like vague. They start seeking excitement elsewhere rather than like directly explaining their feelings of like what is the problem. Now, travel and foreign cultures are associated with Sagittarius. So Sagittarius energy may be comfortable forming connections across distance or like with people with different backgrounds, like long-term relationships, long-term friendships and stuff like that. Sagittarius, when it comes to parenting, like they encourage independence, they encourage exploration, they encourage honesty. Although they must still remember that children also need consistency and emotional reassurance. So it's something that, they have to work on when it comes to their parenting. But, we all parent in different ways. I'm just talking about the notes that I made when it comes to Sagittarius in astrology and certain all the aspects that come with the fire sign. As a friend, they can motivate you, they can make you laugh and help you see possibilities, but they may not always recognize like when you need like emotional depth instead of like advice. So that's something that you deal with a Sagittarius as your friend. You may have come across a Sagittarius that is like this. So depending on Sagittarius, you know, because it moves through the houses, the different house placements in astrology. So wherever Sagittarius falls in someone's birth chart, you know, it can show like where they seek freedom, you know, where they seek expansion, truth, new experiences, and stuff like that. So do you guys think that Sagittarius avoids emotions, or like they simply process emotions by finding like meaning in the experience itself? You guys leave me comments about that. Tell me what you think. Interact with me as you like, okay? So that will be all for the live stream tonight. I hope whoever's listening to this live stream, enjoyed all the information that I gave tonight regarding Sagittarius. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me if you're not following me yet. I do offer personal readings. There is a link in my bio if you want a personal reading with me. You want a tarot reading or oracle reading, whichever. There's also another link in my bio that has for anyone that's interested in donating to my channel. And on Sunday, we are moving into Virgo season. So if you have any Virgo placements in your chart, check out my live stream. Like I said, follow me. If you enjoyed this live stream, follow me, subscribe to me, so that you can see when I'm online. If not, you can catch it on the live stream playlist, okay? So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye bye.